Welcome to all you Cancerians. Welcome for your monthly horoscope for Cancer for September 2015. And it's a very busy year also, but it's a very busy month, I want to say, because there are two eclipses happening on the 13th of the month. There's an eclipse in Virgo, which is very nice for you because that go earth and water. Virgo is an earth sign, and that goes well with the water signs. And then you've got an eclipse in a key area of your life at the end of the month, the 28th in Aries. And I'll talk about that in a minute. To know all the details about those eclipses, I made two separate videos, both of the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse, if you want to check that out. But let's have a look at you in particular, you Cancerians, how you will benefit the most from these eclipses. A solar eclipse in Virgo at 20 degrees is in your third house, and this is nice. This means that you Cancerians feel the urge to communicate more. And I'm not saying that you're not communicating enough, but I mean to have those day-to-day conversations, maybe with people from your neighborhood, maybe with siblings, communicating on a daily basis, not really too much in depth, but the things that happen in your environment have a very big impact on you, or more than usual. So that's the new moon there, the sun and the moon together in your third house. It can also mean that you are going to learn something new, a new skill, maybe driving a car, maybe learning a new language, maybe something that has to do with your work. Because the third house is the house of learning, and it's the house of communicating, it's the house of thinking. So you are going to think in a new way, in a different way. Maybe you say goodbye to an old way of thinking that was way much too tunnel vision oriented. Maybe that's going to happen to you. So whatever it is, it's positive because it goes well with your Cancerian energy. Maybe you are going to read a book and it's going to change you because that's also the third house. Or you're going to write a book, start writing a book. Could be the case as well. So it's very healing energy as well because this new moon opposes Chiron in the 9th. So maybe you are going to connect maybe with someone from abroad or someone from a different background. And that connection can be very, very healing and understanding. So that could be the case as well. Now, there is also still Venus and Mars in Leo, and that is certainly in the beginning of the month. There can happen something that gives you an uplift. Why is that? Because Venus and Mars are starting off the month together in your second house in Leo, and the second house is your self-worth. It's your sense of self-worth. It's also your resources and your talent. So there's something positive happening there with a lot of passion. So it could be some money coming your way, could be just you valuing yourself a bit more. So not necessarily because other people say, oh, it's terrific what you're doing. No, it comes very much from the inside, which is very solid. That's the second house. It's the house of the Taurian. So it's a very solid house. And Venus goes direct there. So you value yourself more. You also value your resources and what you have more. So not necessarily money. It could be, a material good that you're very attached to. It could be also something that you think is very worthwhile. And you realize that. So maybe you could say, my children, I really, really value them. And so on and so on. So that's the Venus and the Mars there in your second house. And then, last but not least, there's the Mercury retrograde. And the Mercury retrograde is in a very key area of your life that has to do with home, family. So there are also a lot of changes happening for the Cancerians when it comes to work and or home. So Mercury is going backwards and forwards, so to speak, in Libra. And so why is this so significant? Because Mercury going retrograde always means thinking rethinking things, standing still. Actually, it's a slowing down of the thinking processes for you that have to do with home, that have to do with your home life, because that's the 4th house. It's your home. It's a very private house, and you're thinking about it. Maybe you're thinking about changes that can occur in the home area. And indirectly also with work, because there's not only the Mercury retrograde in your 4th house, there's also a lunar eclipse on the 28th of the month, and the Mercury retrograde is on the 18th. A lunar eclipse in your 10th house in Aries. So it's very much an emphasis on both houses. When there is an emphasis on the 4th and the 10th house in an opposition, it means that there can be tension that has to do with being too much at work, so you neglect your home, or being too much at home, so you neglect your work, and you're trying to find a balance. That's what's happening for a lot of you Cancerians. So maybe you want to reorganize your home life. What can it be? That can be simply, literally, you do changes about the home, you do, but it can also mean that readjustments at home. Maybe there was a separation of a family member, and now they're coming back. Could be the case. Or maybe you are going to work from home, so you can get a bit more balance. Could be a lot of things, but it has to do with the energy of balancing out work and home life. And it's quite coming to consciousness. So it's you're thinking about it, that's one thing, but there's also coming already results around the end of the month, around the 28th. So, and Cancerians are very much associated with home and family. You can have a business-oriented Cancerian, so to speak, but they will always have that connection to home life, to family life. They're quite conservative when it comes to home and family. So it's quite a busy month. So busy in not the obvious way maybe, but it's quite a lot to think about. It's quite a lot to talk about with the solar eclipse in your 3rd house. And eclipses are very, very important for you Cancerians, because you are ruled by the moon. So especially towards the end of the month, you could get a bit more emotional than usual and put your heart on your sleeves, especially when maybe people from work will say, he or she is getting very emotional about a project of work or something, or because of a situation at home. So try to balance those out. And I wish you a very good month. Enjoy the month of September, and see you next month. Bye-bye.